Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about Joe Manchin, the Democratic Party, systems, structures, reactions, and responses. We're going to do this because I got a message. In a recent video, I talked about that vote that took place in the Senate. Why didn't you even mention Manchin? You focused on the Republican Party, but they needed his vote. You could have at least mentioned him, or better yet, called for him to be thrown out of the party. Okay, first, I actually did mention him. I mentioned him by name in the video. Just throwing that out there. But that doesn't actually really address your point. I mean, that's just a funny thing. You didn't hear it in the beginning. That's fine. I focused on the Republican Party. Yeah, because that's the power structure that's in the way. Okay, people are focusing on Joe Manchin crossing party lines. However, that's not really the issue. I mean, it's not good, don't get me wrong, but the real problem is a power structure that's willing to put talking points over people's lives. That's the issue. The Republican Party power structure. Without that, Joe Manchin's completely irrelevant. You're focusing on the wrong thing. That's why I talked about the Republican Party and that structure. You could have at least mentioned him, or better yet, called for him to be thrown out of the party. That's a reaction. That's a reaction. And anytime you're faced with news that is eliciting a reaction, you need to stop and turn it into a response. Reacting to something is bad. You have to respond to it. The easiest way to make this transition is to ask, what's next? Okay, so the Democratic Party throws Joe Manchin out of the party. What happens next? I don't know. You got to ask Senator McConnell, because he's in control now. I don't see the value in that personally. And I get it. It's sending a message. No, it's not. Not really. They don't care. They don't care. They care about re-election. They care about the power. I mean, understand, Joe Manchin's a coal king. You will never find him and I on the same side of, anything, really. We're not going to be buddies. But he's got that money. He's got that power structure in West Virginia that's going to keep him in office. You want to get rid of him? You have to respond. You want to replace him with somebody who's going to at least somewhat align with the Democratic Party in their votes? You have to respond. And how do you do that? Why does he keep getting elected? Because he's got the money and that power structure behind him. Why was the Republican Party the focus of that video? Because they're the power structure. How do you think you get rid of Joe Manchin? Helping to build a power structure in West Virginia to do that. Those networks we've been talking about all week. That's what matters. You have to help people in West Virginia, or maybe you're in West Virginia yourself, I don't know, build a network that can first primary him and win. And then win a general. You have to be able to do both. You can't just do one. Beating him in the primary does nothing. You have to be able to win the general as well. That's what has to happen. If you can't do that, well then, sure, he's going to vote with the Republican Party a whole lot. But that is a seat on the other side of the aisle that counts towards who controls the legislative agenda. If you want to work within the system, you have to understand how the system works. And if you want to win, you have to understand how the system works to the point where you can appear to be playing by the system's rules while quietly playing by your own. Because that's how you're going to get progress. That's how you're going to build that better world. You're not going to be able to vote it in. The vote every 2 years or 4 years thing, yeah, that's status quo. That's status quo. You want to build that better world, you better look at those other types of civic engagement. You better start building power structures that are aligned with you. And then you can use those to insert into power structures that already exist. That's how you move forward. If you want to use electoralism, that's how you're going to have to do it. Throwing Joe Manchin out, calling him a bad Democrat, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. What he cares about is maintaining power. And he needs that structure to do it. So you have to defeat that structure. The easiest way to do that is to build a better one, build a stronger one. Build one that is more linked to people than coal dollars. We are probably coming into a period where there's going to be a lot of news that is going to elicit an emotional response. We can't react. We have to respond if you want to win. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.